Good afternoon, I'm Rob Boskamp, and you're listening to South Texas Midday. It's Wednesday, September 3rd. After many hours, Corpus Christi City Council voted to stop work on the Inner Harbor desalination project. The decision was made at about 1 a.m. this morning with a 6-3 vote. Yesterday, Council deliberated for hours as they listened to residents and representatives on both sides. The project would have been the city's most expensive infrastructure project to date at $1.2 billion. Council members voted to reject Amendment 5, which would have allowed contractor Kiewit to move forward with design plans to 60% completion. The amendment also called for the company to return with a guaranteed maximum price by this March.
I'm really disappointed that Kiewit's not here today. I know somebody from Ingleside's here, but the leadership team is not here. It's kind of disappointing. This is a lot of money and they're not here to answer our questions. So just want to throw that out there. You said $1.2 billion would be paying extra $11 a month, correct?
$11.38.
Is that for everybody, or is that just for residential? Is that business?
That is what the average residential, someone who uses 6,000 gallons a month, they would pay an extra $11.38 per month.
That was Councilman Eric Cantu speaking with City Program Management Office Director Brett Van Hazel. By voting down the amendment, it effectively halted years of planning and left the city with $122 million in debt service for the next decade, which would have been used for the plant. Moving forward, City Council voted to ask the Texas Water Commission if they can repurpose SWIFT funds from the canceled project for other water source projects. Other highlights from yesterday's meeting: City Council unanimously approved both the operating and capital budgets during their first vote on next year's proposed budget. The $1.6 billion budget package includes funding for the city's day-to-day operations and major infrastructure improvements. The operating budget covers daily municipal services, while infrastructure improvements will be covered by the capital budget. A final vote for budget approval is scheduled for this coming Tuesday. Council members also approved the first reading of an ordinance to set the property tax rate at just under 60 cents per $100 valuation for fiscal year 25-26. The proposed rate is the same as last year's, but with a 0.23% increase over the no new revenue tax rate of 59.84 cents. City officials estimate the tax rate will generate about $169 million in revenues. Council members also approved a rise in parking rates for short-term and covered parking at the Corpus Christi International Airport. Airport Assistant Director Kimberly Miller proposed that short-term parking would rise from $13 to $15 an hour. The vote passed, and the increase will be effective October 1st. And council members also approved updating several animal control services fees. Those include daily boarding, commercial permits, first and second occurrence impoundment, and a species-appropriate vaccine fee. The ordinance also will add a third occurrence impoundment fee of $150, as well as legal presumption regarding rabies immunization. This all goes into effect October 1st. And before yesterday's meeting, Assistant City Manager Heather Hurlburt submitted a letter of resignation after a 2-year run in her position. In her resignation letter obtained by KIII News, Hurlburt said, quote, that the current environment makes it challenging to lead our teams and make decisions that professionally we think are best for the organization, end quote. Hurlburt began working for the city of Corpus Christi in 2020 as Director of Finance and Procurement. She was promoted to Assistant City Manager in 2023, where she currently oversees management and budget, finance and procurement, parks and rec, and economic development. Her last day will be September 19th. We now go to Victoria, where its regional airport has received $2.5 million from the Texas Department of Transportation to remodel its terminal. Victoria County will contribute 10% of the total cost. 25 News Now reports that repaving of the airport parking lot is already underway and expected to be completed in about 90 days, weather permitting. Meanwhile, runway improvements are nearly complete, and United flights to and from Houston are on track to resume this Friday. The Aransas Pass City Council approved a resolution yesterday granting a 3-year tax abatement to StatCare Urgent Care for the construction of a new medical facility. The council also voted to waive all permitting, inspection, and water tap fees for the project. The city has been without a hospital and urgent care facility since Hurricane Harvey hit in 2017.
We're getting those urgent medical needs. That healthcare facility will serve our community greatly. It will assist in caring for our seniors, our kids here locally.
That was City Council member Ruth Camarillo-Smith speaking to KRAS 6 News. The tax abatement provides a full abatement on city property taxes for 3 years, estimated at about $6,600 per year. The proposed facility will be located off West Wheeler Avenue. An industrial manufacturer is moving to Harlingen from Brownsville, planning to expand its operations while boosting its payroll from over 140 employees. ConsultingPoint, a company manufacturing motors, generators, and components, is moving to a site near the Harlingen Industrial Park from Texas Southmost College's ITEC campus. The city's Economic Development Corporation CEO Orlando Campos told the Valley Morning Star that as part of an agreement, the EDC is offering the company about $1,000 for retention of each of its 80 jobs, along with an average of $2,500 for each job it creates. The company is planning to open over 60 new jobs within 3 to 5 years. A major water break in Yoakam has escalated to a mandatory boil water notice. Yoakam ISD has canceled all classes for today, according to a Facebook post from the Yoakam Police Department. Officials said classes are expected to resume tomorrow. Water pressure dropped below 20 pounds per square inch, prompting the city to issue a boil water notice in accordance with TCEQ regulations. The city will notify residents via the public water system once it is safe to drink. Texas A&M Corpus Christi has been named a College of Distinction. The national honor recognizes institutions for engaged, student-centered learning and strong postgraduate outcomes. The designation places TAMUCC among a select group of institutions across the country. Colleges of Distinction evaluate schools based on their ability to provide high-impact educational practices and rounded student support. The selection process focuses on 4 core distinctions: engaged students, teaching, community, and successful outcomes. Since 2000, Colleges of Distinction has helped over 5 million students and families discover institutions that prioritize an authentic college experience. Yesterday, a Vietnam-era Army helicopter was installed at Sherill Park on Shoreline Boulevard and Cooper's Alley. The U.S. Army Bell Huey helicopter is part of the Sherill Veterans Memorial Park's Military Monument Installation Project. The Bell Helicopter Corporation donated the chopper to the city of Corpus Christi and paid for the refurbishing. The city paid for the 15-foot pedestal it sits on via a city bond project. And TxDOT temporarily halted construction on a $64 million ferry upgrade project in Port Aransas yesterday. Workers spotted an endangered West Indian Manatee nearby. Construction personnel reported the manatee sighting to TxDOT, prompting suspension of all construction activity during the animal's visit to the Port Aransas ferry operation site. The manatee was not in visible distress and was observed at ferry operations for several hours before moving along toward Corpus Christi Bay, allowing construction to resume. West Indian manatees are federally protected and endangered creatures known to migrate from Mexico and Florida during summer months. And we now go to Spencer Chehawk, who is interviewing University of Texas Rio Grande Valley Athletic Director Chase Conk. Good afternoon, guys.
Thank you, Rob. Excited to be joined by the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley Senior Vice President and Director of Athletics, Chase Conk. Chase, thank you so much for taking the time.
No, I appreciate the opportunity.
Certainly a whole lot of fun on Saturday. The inaugural UTRGV football game, a 66-0 victory against Sul Ross State. Just for you, the build-up to that moment, what was it like to have that result?
It really was a perfect night for the Rio Grande Valley and certainly our university and athletics department. Really just happy, right? Just happy for our people here in the valley. This has been a long time coming. So happy for our students, our fans, those that have wanted to see this moment or that moment happen for many, many years. It just really was a wonderful night and really a unifying night that brought our entire region together for one common cause, and that was to cheer on the Vaqueros.
An estimated 20,000 people on the ground in total. That really must say a lot after going through the whole process of putting the team together and everything that goes into building a team like the Vaqueros.
Yeah, you can't deny the excitement and the enthusiasm. And as we sit here today and just announced our fall enrollment numbers of close to 36,000, just everywhere you look right now, it's really a tremendous time for the institution. But having about 20,000 converge from Backer Stadium Saturday night, about 13,000, more than sold out stadium there in attendance, and then to see our football team perform like they did, and Coach Bush obviously did his part that night. It made for a really special night. But there's tremendous enthusiasm for the Vaqueros throughout the valley. We've seen such a tremendous uptick over the last several years, and football really has been the catalyst, in my opinion, for that enthusiasm. And I think there's really been an awakening here in our region, that we have quality, really good Division I athletics right here in our own backyard. And really all of our programs have seen that uptick and have benefited from what we're seeing from an enthusiasm standpoint across the region.
Now, you mentioned the backyard. There's a whole lot of players on this football team and throughout the entire athletic program that hail from the South Texas area. Just what does it mean to be able to find that local talent?
Yeah, it's really important. It's important philosophically for our department, but also for our head coaches, and that's where it starts. They set the tone in their recruiting efforts. They always want to start recruiting here in the Valley first, and then if you expand beyond the Valley and you look at other communities and high schools throughout South Texas, we have great representation across the board, all 18 sports. We, as a department, we're somewhere between 22-23% of our student-athlete population is from the Rio Grande Valley. And certainly we had a dozen or so football student-athletes that were able to suit up and be part of that inaugural game experience on Saturday night. So, it's important. We want to make sure we're involved in the community. We want to make sure that we recruit here locally first. And as you look at football in particular, over time, having a Division I college football program is only going to enhance high school football in our region. Just the relationships our coaches have with the other high school coaches, the clinics, the camps, the opportunities for those high school prospective student athletes to come and watch Division I game, to see the work ethic of a Division I student athlete. That's something that we haven't had in our region before. And so what a great tool in the toolbox for not just our coaches, but high school coaches across the region.
Now, the Vaqueros going on the road this weekend, will be back the following. Is there anything throughout the rest of the season that you're really looking forward to?
Hey, we have 7 home football games, and that's something we're really proud of. We wanted to make sure that we had as many opportunities for our fans and our students to watch our team play this year. Excited to go on the road. That will certainly present its own new challenges for our student athletes, meaning an environment that's not necessarily as friendly as Packer Stadium was to us on Saturday night. But we'll continue to learn a lot operationally, but also as a team. But we've got some big dates coming up. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary as an institution. So our next home football game on September 13th will be our 10th anniversary celebration. Certainly homecoming. Right? We've had homecoming here at the institution for a long, long time, but it's always been in the spring semester. Now that we have football, moving that to one of our football games in late October. And really excited to bring in the Southland Conference competition. We're really proud to be part of this league, Texas and Louisiana based, but excited to host those teams and those administrators and their fans, and really exposing them to the incredible game day environment and the support that we're receiving right now.
Looking at the entire athletic department, it's going to be the busiest fall in the school's history, 11 teams in total playing, and there'll be a game every day, weather permitting, from August 11th to November 9th. Just in the decade of the school, just what do you think it means to now have 11 programs going in the fall?
Yeah, that's a great statistic there, with a total of 18 programs. But yeah, you're right, 11 competing, all at the same time. It makes the fall so fun. We had our student athletes, obviously those that are competing this fall have been back on campus for several weeks, if not a couple of months. But getting all of our programs going, volleyball is going to be at home for the first time this weekend with a big tournament here at the field house. It just makes for a fun fall. It makes it fun for our student athletes, whether they're in season or not. It makes it fun for our students, giving great programming for our students here on campus to be involved. And that's a big piece of it, right? We knew when we started college football and we had the support from our students, and they were really doubling down on their student experience. And so that campus life initiative, that's been very important to the president. We want to do our part. And so having as many teams competing that we do this fall, it's an extra wrinkle for us with football, but we're certainly excited about it.
Certainly is a great way to keep people engaged throughout kind of every week of the school year. I want to thank you so much for taking the time. Is there anything that we haven't discussed that you were hoping to today?
No, just grateful for the opportunity to spread the good word about the Vaqueros, and come back and see us in the Valley soon.
Chase, thank you so much for taking the time.
You bet. Bees up.
All right, thank you, Spencer and Chase, for joining us, and that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.